Welcome to Life is Hard TV, the life show for the rest of us. You've tuned into the cooking channel. I'm Chef Dave. Welcome to my kitchen. Very exciting tonight. We're making eggplant parmesan. And stay tuned for future episodes. We're going to follow us up shortly with chicken parmesan. So we're going to knock out all the authentic, traditional Italian dishes, and we're going to move on down the road to some of the other stuff. You may have seen my recent tweet on Twitter. I told you guys I was going to do chicken stir fry, but here it is Sunday. It's Italian day. Guys, what do we eat on Sunday in this house? What kind of food?
Italian.
Italian food, right. So, eggplant parmesan tonight. Very exciting. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with basically how to peel it, how to cut it, all that stuff. It's probably a little different than what you thought. And then we're going to get into the flour, egg, breadcrumb, the deep frying, and then we're going to put it all together and layer it with sauce and cheese, and we're going to do all that in 10 minutes. So the first thing is, when you choose eggplant from the supermarket, now here it is, again, we're in Connecticut, it's March just about, and it's not, you know, the best time of year to get eggplant, but make sure that when you choose eggplant from the supermarket that it's pretty firm. You don't want to get the soft, squishy stuff. You don't want to have the eggplant that has wrinkly skin. So this right here, this is pretty good. So what we're going to do now is I'll show you how to peel it, and I'll show you a trick that it's called purging or steeping, which takes some of the bitterness and some of the moisture out, which is critical for successful eggplant parmesan. So come on over. Actually, we'll do it right here, and then we'll go over there. We'll work on the steeping aspect of it. So we'll take the skin right here, this little stem on the end, peel that off. Again, very sharp paring knife. And if you do it this way and you cut towards your finger, which I really don't recommend, be very careful. So we get that off. I've already washed it, of course, and dried it. Very important. Okay, so we're going to cut that off. Now, it's optional to peel the skin. You can do it, but I've found either way works. I really don't mind the skin that much. By the time you cook it, bake it, serve it, etc., it's really fine. So what we want to do now is we want to cut it into the long way, into pieces about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch thick. So what I like to do is start by cutting one side off, and that gives you a nice flat edge to lay on the table, much safer. Okay, so we're going to cut some pieces now, about 1/4 inch plus, and it's not a problem to err on the thick side. And we can kind of see. Folks, remember to keep those fingers curled when you're slicing. So there we go. We have a few pieces there. Cut the first piece off, turn it so you got a nice flat, stable edge on the cutting board. And we're going to cut it right into pieces, about 1/4 inch plus thick. A little tricky on the last one, but if you can get a little bit of that skin off, you're in good shape. And we'll do the same on this last one right here. There you go. So that's basically that's the best way to cut eggplant. Now, come on over, and I'll show you how to get some of the moisture and the bitterness out of the eggplant. Okay, so we need the colander, and you need salt. I like to use coarse salt, and just lay it in the colander. Sprinkle some of that salt on, right on the surface. You only need to do one side, and it's fine to layer it. And you're going to let this sit for about 30 minutes, and you're going to really watch it sweat. You're going to see all the moisture come right out. Okay, excellent. Okay, everybody, we're back. 30 minutes in the colander. A lot of the moisture has come out of the eggplant. Now we're going to get into the fun part, and I get very excited as we get closer to the actual eating part. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So here we go. So we're going to go, first we go flour. This is typical with chicken or eggplant or any type of deep frying. Usually you want to go flour, egg, breadcrumb. The flour helps the egg stick. and then of course the breadcrumb sticks to the egg. So, so we go flour in the egg, let some of the excess egg come off. Breadcrumb, just give it a quick pat. There you go. Okay, so we finished breading the eggplant, and a couple of comments on how we do the egg and the breadcrumb. And I really prefer, as far as the egg goes, I use 4 eggs here, but add a little bit of milk to that, beat it up really well. Helps stretch the egg out, make it a little bit creamier as well. The breadcrumb, I only go to the Italian bakery and buy the breadcrumbs from the bakery. I never use store-bought. If you actually look at the ingredients on the store-bought, you're going to see the ingredients are this long, and the 2 key ingredients I like to avoid are partially hydrogenated oil and high fructose corn syrup, and you're going to see both of those in almost all of the over-the-counter breadcrumbs. So please avoid those. Go to the bakery, buy them. It's $1 a bag for a pound of breadcrumbs, and you're good to go. Okay, folks, we are ready for the deep frying. Everything is good to go here. We have the oil up to about 375 degrees, and really the way to test it, I did use a thermometer, but what I usually do is you come on in and you dip it. As soon as you see it sizzling, you know you're up to the right temp. So it took probably, take a look at how that sizzles nicely. It took about 20 minutes or so to heat it up to the right temp. But I would suggest, if you're not accustomed to deep frying, get an oil thermometer that you can hook to the side of the pan, and I have one. I'll show you what that looks like. The oil screen is awesome right here. It keeps it from splattering. Now I'm going to turn the fan on. What I usually do, I take this outside on the grill, and I do it year-round. I use a side burner. It eliminates the smell from the deep frying in the house, and it's a lot less messy. So if you can do that, highly recommend it. So we'll give that about a minute on each side. Come on in, take a look at this eggplant frying up nicely. You can see it really cooking, and after about a minute or so, turn them over. Golden brown. Those are beautiful. Look at those. Very nice. Nice to have a little slotted ravioli taker-outer. What do you call these things? Utensil. A utensil? Definitely a sort of utensil. Alright, well, there we go. Kind of a strainer. Call it a little strainer. Handheld colander. Carrier. So there we go. Helps you transfer it out nicely onto the paper towel. Let those drain. We're going to finish that up, and then we're going to get into it. We're going to start to layer it. Take a look at those right there. Okay, we are ready for action. We have the eggplant fried. Now we're going to layer it into the pan, and it's very similar to the way we do lasagna, so the rest is simple. And by the way, you saw how you can take the eggplant right here, cut it up, serve it that way. That's a great appetizer. Just take the piece right here, slice it lengthwise, and folks love it. So it's a great appetizer. But this is eggplant parmesan, so here we go. I put a generous amount of sauce in the bottom of the pan. So now we just layer in the eggplant. First layer. There we go. There we go. Layer that in. Excellent. So, take one more right here. Typically don't use the ends with the skin, but really it's really not all that bad, and it's pretty tender, so not a problem. Now we throw some sauce right on top of that. Spread that baby around. And again, be generous on the sauce. And I like to add a little bit of Parmesan on each layer. It adds a nice flavor, and also a sprinkle of pepper. Okay, so we've layered in all the eggplant. One last topping of sauce. Spread that around. And we're going to put on one last layer of Parmesan cheese. In the oven, 350 for 30 minutes. We're going to layer it at the end with some mozzarella cheese, and we're good to go. There you have it, folks. Eggplant Parmesan. A little bit of work, but it's totally worth it. One of the most traditional Italian dishes. So Life is Hard TV, the life show for the rest of us. You've tuned into the cooking channel. I'm Chef Dave. Enjoy it, and we'll see you soon.